The strut assembly, red arrow, on the W204 connects and controls the up and down movement of the wheel hub. The drop links connect the sway bar, red arrow, to the strut, yellow arrow. Begin by removing the drop link from the strut by inserting a T30 torque, red arrow, while removing the nut with an 18mm open socket, or use an impact gun. You cannot get a wrench on the nut due to the enclosed space around the mount. Using a 21mm socket, remove the nut on the bolt that connects the top of the steering knuckle to the strut, red arrow, but leave the bolt in place. Remove the two E16 torque bolts from the lower strut to steering knuckle as indicated by the red arrow. Cut the zip tie that holds the cable bracket on the strut, red arrow. Remove the ABS wheel speed sensor and brake wear sensor cables from their mounts. Slide the mount out of the strut and back down the brake line, red arrow. Working on the top of the fender, remove the three E14 torque bolts holding the top of the strut to the chassis. This photo shows the 3 bolts location on the top of the fender. Then compress inwards the 2 tabs on the dust cover, red arrows. Push the dust cover and strut downward. The dust cover will be holding the strut in place, so once it passes the fender opening, the strut will be free. Be careful. Remove the top bolt from the steering knuckle to the strut and remove the strut from the vehicle. Make sure to tie up the wheel hub assembly, red arrow, so that it's not hanging free. Use a punch or a small Allen keys to squeeze in the tabs on the dust cover to remove it, red arrows. Despite having several spring compressors to choose from, we could not get one to safely compress both sides of the spring to remove the hat. Modern struts are designed to fit into a specific tool for compressing the springs and removing the top of the assembly. If you cannot get the spring to safely compress, take the assembly to a suspension shop and have them change out the springs for you. Never attempt to change the springs without safely compressing the springs. The springs are under tremendous pressure. Doing so can cause serious damage to you, your shop, or anyone standing around if they are not compressed correctly. If you have the proper spring compressor, you will need an open 21mm socket, red arrow, and a T50 torque, yellow arrow, to release the hat, either that or an impact gun. Installation is the reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Click here to view the original article along with hundreds of other DIY content for your car.